To clean the dust track, we'll need the cleaning supplies, which are included in box number 3. And then we take our dust track instrument off from the cradle. We unscrew our inlet, and we check for cleanliness inside our inlet and inside our impaction chamber. And what we usually do, if the instrument is nice and clean and there are no visible signs of dust, we are in a pretty good shape. But usually after running a pie swirl for a number of tests on a dusty surface, you'll end up with some dust in there. So what you do is, as we said, you open the impaction chamber, and obviously I already have a Q-tip there, Stan. Thank you. So we take one of our Q-tips, we wipe off the inlet, and then we run the Q-tip through the inlet as well to clean it off nicely. And make sure that you don't lose this brown gasket when you're handling the inlet, because it's very important to have a gasket on there and a good seal. Okay.
Do you have to replace the gasket at any time?
We haven't had to replace them.
Okay.
They're pretty nice and thick that they don't need to get replaced.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no. Go ahead, ask these questions. They're meaningful. Okay, so then what we would do is we would use the same procedure and wipe off the dust on the inside of the impaction chamber. Once that's done, the next step is to remove the inlet tube. And to remove the inlet tube, we use this special tool, and then we use the cross end to unscrew it. So what we do is we align it with cross notches on the inlet tube. We line it up, and then we unscrew it by turning it to the left, and we make a few turns, and then we use the other end of the tool to pull the inlet tube out. And the inlet tube has a little notch on which we can anchor our special tool. Okay, so once the inlet is outside, we need to clean the inlet as well. Don't be lazy and
don't be lazy. Period.
Right, and leave your inlet tube inside, and then run the brush through it, because that's not good. That's gonna send the dust where you don't want to have a dust.
Right.
So take it outside, take your cleaning brush, run it a few times from both directions, then get your chem wipe, clean off the brush nicely, and run it a few more times, and then you should be good to go. And at the end of that, clean the brush as well and put it away. So then the next step is to put it, because now the inlet tube is outside, you have a little bit better access to the inside of the impaction chamber. So go ahead and clean the inside of it nicely. And at this point, when it's nice and clean, it is also the best time to apply some impaction grease. And you put a little dab of impact or grease right on the side of the inlet tube hole. And the next step is to use, as I was doing last time, use one of the smaller there they are. So use one of these smaller Q-tips and spread the impaction grease around the impaction area. Something along those lines. Okay? So then we just put the instrument in the vertical position, and we drop the inlet tube inside, and then we basically use the cross end of the tool to screw screw the inlet tube inside, and then we lightly tighten it with our index finger and a thumb. No need to make it really tight.
Hey, George, again. Put this just for a second. Okay, ready.
Okay, and the last step is to put the inlet on, screw it on, and then you do the same thing, lightly screw it on to make sure that it's the airtight, and that's it. Okay, now that the instrument is nice and clean, the next step is to check, basically perform the zero air calibration.
What about the filters that are on the back?
I'm going to send you better directions for how to do that.
Okay.
And I don't want to do it out here because it's kind of too windy and too dusty.
Okay. But there are filters in the back.
Yes, there are. Okay, so you will connect the power on, turn the instrument on, and put the clean air filter on. Wait for a few seconds for instrument to start up. Okay, so in the case where instrument is reading 00 when the clean filter is on there, you're pretty much good to go, which means that the instrument is zeroed properly and you don't need to re-zero it. But for the sake of illustration, this time we will go through the zeroing calibration. So what you do, you press the calibrate button, and then you wait for the counter to go down to 0, and then you release the button, and then you get a calibrate 0 message, and then you press a sample button, and then you wait for 60 seconds.
Okay.
And you don't move the dust track, right?
Yeah, I mean, you hold it kind of nice and steady.
Okay.
Okay, don't change the calibration factor and just press a calibrate and you should be good to go.
All right. Cut it.
Excellent. Yeah, that's it. We can shut off the instrument and it's ready.
Always